Good morning, and this is your Hurricane Isaias update for August the 1st, 2020. And welcome to the Weather Guru channel. For those of you who are just joining, I want to share with you the latest and also tell you what I think is going to happen with the system very quickly here. Currently, we have a Hurricane Isaias. Its winds, maximum sustained winds, are currently supposed to be 85 miles an hour, movement northwest at 12 miles an hour. Now, right now, it's making its way through the north and the central and north Bahamas, passing Big Andros Island and just to the west of Nassau, Bahamas, as of this morning. With steering currents, we'll talk about steering currents, and then we'll talk about what I think the forecast of this thing will happen and why it's going to be forecasted this way. This is the official forecast from the National Hurricane Center. The issue is that the tropical storm is being stirred by the Bermuda high pressure, which is a clockwise high pressure, big high pressure system, and the hurricane is going to move around this periphery of high pressure here. Okay. Also, what's also influencing the steering currents is that there's a trough that's digging in the southeast coast. This trough is going to pick up Hurricane Isaias and send it out to sea. Okay, and it's already feeling the effects of it because the system is entraining dry air, meaning air that is not moist, and warm moist air is what fuels a hurricane to grow stronger, okay? And also warm sea surface temperatures. We have the warm sea surface temperatures, but we don't have the internal structure of the hurricane has been disrupted by dry air and also vertical wind shear of 25 knots or greater. So because of which, this hurricane will not strengthen any further. And a matter of fact, I look for a decrease in strength down to 70 miles an hour or less. It could even become a tropical storm earlier than most people have anticipated on here. The hurricane warnings will remain for Florida coast, but I do not think the storm will make a direct hit on Florida or Georgia or South Carolina's coast. It will brush the Outer Banks and head out to sea. So what's going to happen is it's going to curve around. It's going to be turning northward turn. I expect the northward turn to be late. So we're looking at a northward turn probably after midnight tonight. Into Sunday morning. And then it will graze the coast, but it will not make a landfall on Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina coast at all. It will brush the Outer Banks and then head out to sea. This is really already a tropical storm technically, as flight level winds. The hurricane hunters couldn't find flight level winds above 70 miles an hour yesterday, and then today they dropped in last night they dropped in and said that they found an intensifying core, but that intensifying core has weakened now, according to the discussion, and it has a ragged appearance, obviously, and so it is likely weakening, but the hurricane hunters decided to keep the intensity at 85 miles an hour just to be consistent in the forecast here for the 5 day initial 24-hour forecast today. But as it says here, and I'm not making this up, the hurricane is currently undergoing a 25-knot westerly vertical shear, and some mid-level dry air is present west of the center, which we can see. So, because of the strong shear and everything, the intensity should be downgraded to 75 miles an hour or less. As you can see on the radar here, most of the convection is well off to the southeast side of the system. On the west side of the system, we have a bunch of dry air, and that tells me that the trough is digging in and it's feeling the effects of the trough, and it will be lifted up to the north without making a landfall on Florida's coast, Georgia's coast. So what Florida can expect is just brief showers, maybe an inch or two of rain, 3 inches maximum for some of these places, but I don't think it's going to be a direct hit on any of these areas. It's going to curve out to sea. The Outer Banks will sustain some, tropical storm force winds and some things of that nature, but it won't be anything to write home about. Elsewhere in the Atlantic, we have a 10% chance of a tropical wave here. This is just associated with the outflow from Isaias. This will dissipate. And Tropical Depression 10, they might give it a name. It might become a named storm, but it's moving away from land and it'll be dissipating in the next 2 days, as according to the public advisory here. And that's pretty much all we have in the Atlantic Basin, the Eastern Pacific Basin. Nothing is going on there, and nothing is going on in the Central Pacific Basin after Hurricane Douglas came through near Hawaii last weekend. So everyone else is quiet. So that is our report for today with the Weather Guru. If you have any comments or questions, please leave them down below, and I'll get back with you as soon as possible. Thank you for joining me.